Good morning, Azeroth. Good morning, Azeroth. This is Neall, your friendly warrior tank from Medivh, and I help people earn achievements. And this is Good Morning Azeroth for Tuesday, the 8th of August, 2017. Neall's attempt to bring you the news from all around the world of Warcraft. And today, again, a look back at my weekend. Wow, another edition of what Neall did last week. Neall encourages you to keep up with Neall, keep up with Neall, keep up with Neall. And this version of Good Morning Azeroth tells you what I did last week so you can know how to keep up with me. First up to our Transmog Tuesdays. Transmog Tuesdays. Every Tuesday I start off with Transmog Tuesday. Last Tuesday I finished one more set, the normal set from Hellfire Citadel. I'm a little frustrated with Transmog Tuesdays at the moment. I've been working on Dragon Soul Raid Finder and TOT Raid Finder for probably 6 weeks, maybe longer, and still have 2 pieces from Dragon Soul and 1 piece from TOT. The way that loot drops in Raid Finder is frustrating. Certainly in TOT you can bonus roll, and I am bonus rolling for the belt that I need from there. The belt is also a world drop from the trash in TOT Raid Finder, but I'm not having any luck with that as well. So a little frustrated, but I'm keeping at it, I still have Raid Finder Dragon Soul, Raid Finder TOT, Raid Finder Hellfire Citadel. I'm down to 1 piece in that. Heroic Hellfire, 2 pieces from that. Raid Finder for Nighthold. Still 2 pieces for that. Heroic Nighthold, so that's usually where I stop because I finished Raid Finder Trial Tomb of Sargeras. I still need some pieces from Heroic Nighthold, Normal Tomb, and Heroic. Actually, I need everything from Heroic Tomb. But working on those transmogs. Transmog Tuesday. My current alt focus, like I said, is getting concordance on all my alts for the toys, the mounts, the pets. I do have all of the toys and all of the pets, so I'm working on mounts. I have been a little focused on Paladin and Warlock to get the mounts. I'm very close to getting the first Paladin extra mount from getting to Concordance. Should hit Concordance today on the Protection Paladin to get the first extra mount. Mostly, I've been focused on Balance of Power, which is my third alt focus, which has kept me from getting AP on various tombs. We'll talk about that in a second. But I did have a lot of luck with my secondary alt focus last week, hidden artifact weapon skins. I did attempt a couple of palace runs on the Assassination Rogue. Did not have any luck with those, but I am getting keys and attempting that as often as I can. I did get the Havoc Demon Hunter skin. So Havoc, you get a drop from something in the world in Suramar, and then you go fight the big bat over Felsoul Hold. That is interesting. I did it in Vengeance Spec, which makes it a little tougher. He does bat you around the area, and you have to get back to him. You can glide back to him. Havoc's Fell Rush makes it easier to get back to him, but I did eventually get that Havoc skin. I did finally get my Priest appearance from Il'gynoth, so got the Shadow Priest appearance done. The Mage had both the Frost and Arcane appearances last week. So Frost comes from polymorphing several things, getting some explosive sheep, doing a little role play in the Elwyn Forest, and then the Arcane one also dropped for me, which comes from having some portals in your class order hall. Having one of the portals send you to Frostfire Ridge, so got both of those last week. My Warlock is still attempting, but he's dying to Ritual of Doom on a daily basis and not picking up the skin there, but he's trying. My Shaman and my Rogue both picked up their appearances from the Underbelly, so for one of the specs for each of those, you have to kill the rares in the Underbelly, and it drops from them. It didn't take too long, probably about an hour for each. Killing rares. It's a little annoying because you alternate between PvP with no rares and no PvP with rares, and killing them, you probably get 1 rare, maybe 2 per non-PvP session. But probably about an hour in, I got both of those for each, so not terribly difficult. I did send my Druid into Darkheart Thicket. He didn't have any luck getting the balance skin from the first boss, and my Horde Warrior went into Trial of Valor to try to pick up the piece that he needs from Nithog, and no luck with that. Sure would like to see a Nithog world boss. Spoiler, Nithog not the world boss this week. My third focus for alts, like I said, is balance of power, and did a little bit of work this week on that, mostly rep work. So I didn't really run into this with the first 5 balance of powers that I did, just because their rep was already done because of how many world quests and whatnot I was doing with them. But as I've gotten to the Demon Hunter and got him through the Emerald Nightmare piece of it, he needed rep with both Nightfallen and Valorjar to get to the different pieces post Emerald Nightmare, pre Nighthold. So he has finished that rep and is now working on the dungeons piece between Emerald Nightmare and Nighthold. The Shaman and the Horde Warrior both have their rep. They are in Emerald Nightmare right now. They still need some more of the essences. As soon as they're done, they'll be ready, should be ready very soon to go into Nighthold. And then as I'm working on the Paladin's Concordance, I am working on his rep with Nightfallen and Valorjar, as well as the Paladin did some Withered Army training to try to get his hidden skin, and that didn't work either. So we're out there, we're doing things. Pet and toy update. I did pick up the decahedral dice from pickpocketing, rogue pickpocketing. There's a couple of dice. I already had a couple of the dice that you get from pickpocketing, and went and got the decahedral dice from rogue pickpocketing. Also picked up the shop mount and pet. So there's a new shop mount and pet. I spent 130,000 gold from in-game gold from 2 tunes and bought a WoW token, and ended up picking up both of those. So glad to have those. Last week's weekly event was time walking, and I did 1 set of time walking, 1 set of 5 dungeons. I only needed the 500 badges on my main, my warrior, to get the Wrath of the Lich King time walking mount. So picked up that mount as well. There's only 2 time walking mounts that I still need. One that comes from Mist, and I should be able to pick that up when Mist rolls back around. And still need the one that drops from a random, it's a random drop from the bosses. So I haven't started really focusing on that, but it's still out there. This week's bonus event, I need to check. I think it's dungeons. What is this week's event? No. It is Battlegrounds, the Battleground bonus event, and we get a brawl this week as well. So we'll talk about that next week. Next week is Legion Dungeon event. I will likely do a lot of Legion Dungeons because a lot of my characters need dungeons for quests and whatnot next week. Rating update. The Team Nas for the guild, Shattered Fates Team Nas, is now 4 of 9 heroic. After 40 attempts on Miss Sassy heroic, we killed Miss Sassy on the 41st attempt. Oh, that was a joy. We're glad to get her down. She's tough, but we killed her. We pulled Sisters 5 times after that and got her down to sub 1% on the 4th pull. Before we called it after the 5th pull for the week. So hopefully Sisters die soon, and Desolate Host right behind them. It appears from looking at various groups of progress, Miss Sassy might be one of the tougher bosses in Tuma Sargeras, and we were at her pretty early. And since we were progressing on her, we decided not to move on and avoid her. I'm glad we did that. So 4 of 9 heroic, working on 5, should be 5 or 6 of 9 very quickly. Achievement runs this week. We did Show Me Your Moves, both Horde and Alliance side. We achieved Show Me Your Moves, Horde and Alliance side, both times this week. We did Panda Raider, Horde and Alliance side. Got most of the achievements there. We did not get Face Clutcher's Horde side. One of the octopi died right at the last second. Very frustrating. That is soloable, and we told people how they can come back and solo that today if they need it to finish off their Panda Raider. We got Trial of Valor achievements, both Horde and Alliance side. Horde side, very easy. We finished in 1.5 hours. We had multiple pulls on all the bosses, but we got all the achievements very quickly. Alliance side, much more frustrating. Goodness gracious. We probably pulled Odin 4 or 5 times. We one-shot Guarm, but we were at Helya for, I don't know, 8 attempts, 9 attempts, something like that. Killed her 3 times before we got the achievement. We killed her twice, and then the 3rd time we got the achievement. Super frustrating, but we got them. This week, Show Me Your Moves Horde side today, Thundering Raider, Alliance side, and Horde side Friday and Monday. Nighthold achievements Saturday and Sunday. All those events are up on OpenRaid. Fun runs. We did Heroic Emerald Nightmare, Night Hold, and Tomb of Sargeras last week. We'll be doing those for the next few weeks. Tomb of Sargeras was the first time we went in a tomb, fun run style. This week we went 8 of 9. We had a lot of fun at Maiden. I think we had 4 wipes at Maiden before we killed Maiden, but killed all 8 bosses. Got some pulls on killed Jaden, so people could start to see what that looks like. I imagine there were people who had not seen that, so good that they could see that to see what's in store for them as we go forth. I do still need to figure out Mythic Blackrock Foundry, Mythic Hellfire Citadel. I know a lot of people want to see those, and just need to figure out where I can fit those in on my schedule. I did have 2 similar but funny, similar sad and funny stories, I guess, with LFRs this week. I went into LFR on my Horde Warrior to pick up stuff from the Nighthold Raid Finder set, first wing of Nighthold. A werebear. You know, when I go into LFR, I try to lighten things up because, you know, LFR can be LFR. So I say something like, welcome to your LFR, where face pulling is not encouraged, but likely, and we don't have to kill all the trash, but we probably will. You know, just to make people laugh. And when I said that in Nighthold, Wing 1, a werebear wearing druid tank said, "You are completely useless in this run. Why don't you just shut up?" So I was like, okay, all right. That's the way you want to be. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool. So we got the Chronomatic Anomaly, and I did not taunt. If you're familiar with Chronomatic Anomaly's tanking, if the tank gets 10 stacks, it blows up and dies. Blows up and dies. So, didn't taunt. During normal phase, he only got the 9 stacks. I was hoping for the 10th. I was hoping for it. Really, I was. But he only got the 9. I know. I was thinking, he's just going to die and nothing's going to happen. But he didn't die. We got into the slow phase, and Werebear got to 10 stacks and blew up and died. And he was the only one that died on Chronomatic Anomaly. I thought it was justice. So, similarly, my priest went into the Emerald Nightmare Raid Finder for, eventually he got his Il'gynoth hidden appearance for Shadow. I mistakenly signed up for the wing with Ursoc, and not Il'gynoth. Ursoc, I guess it's Ursoc Dragon's Il'gynoth. No, Ursoc Dragon Spider-Bird. And same thing, welcome to your LFR, where Facebook link's not encouraged, but likely. Keep up with us. We don't have to pull all the trash, but we probably will. And Holy Priests, I'm a disc priest on my priest. Holy Priest said, "Why don't you STFU and start healing, you noob?" And I'm like, whatever. And people were like coming to my defense. He's disc priest though, you know, he does DPS. And disc, you pleb, you play the wrong spec. Play holy. I'm holy. Play holy. And I'm like, all right, interesting. So we got to Ursoc and did the Ursoc fight. And at the end of the fight, I looked at the meters and said, you know, just out-healed and out-DPS'd the Holy Priest on my Disc Priest on the boss fight. You know, why don't you do some healing? So, interesting weeks in LFR. Don't be nice in LFR. Why would people do that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And lastly, for my week in WoW, we did get some questions last week. We got a couple of questions. My good buddy, now I'm not going to remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? Rogue, who is my friend, who I can't remember his name right now, asked, is Medic in the Zone even obtainable these days? So Medic in the Zone, if you are unfamiliar, is the First Aid achievement. So under Achievements, and we'll move this over here. Achievements, Professions, First Aid, Field Medic requires you to, and you can't see it now, requires you to pick up, come to the aid of all the wounded travelers across the Broken Isle. So Medic in the Zone comes to the aid of 10 of them, then Field Medic comes to the aid of all of them, and it records the title Field Medic. So these drop in there's a set that drops in each of the 5 zones in Legion. So I don't have the list in front of me, but Bloody Letter is only going to drop in 1 zone. Bloody Note's only going to drop in 1 zone. Plea in 1 zone. Prayer in 1 zone. Request in 1 zone. So they all drop from a specific zone, but they are a random drop from random mobs in that zone. You usually, as I've been world questing, they would drop, just doing various world quests in the zones at random. When I picked up a new one, I went and finished it. Towards the end, I did have to farm the last few that I needed. The best way to farm them is to figure out which zone that they drop in, and then find a spot in that zone where there are a lot of mobs grouped up, where you can kill them quickly, where they respawn quickly, so that you can just stand there and kill random mobs for some length of time until one of the items drops. If it's one you don't need, just delete it. You can accept it, then delete the quest and keep farming. If you pick up one that you already that you need, go do that one. You probably won't get another new one that day. Sort of the way that works. They do drop. It is possible to complete it. I finished it. When did I finish this? In April. So it's August. I finished it 4 months ago, but it was a grind at the end. The next question that I got, someone said, "Man, you appear to be keeping up with your alts very well. Do you have a spreadsheet, and can you share it with us?" And I don't really have a spreadsheet. I actually have, and I think I showed people this before, I have several post-it notes with the things that I'm working on, so I can try to show these to you. This spreadsheet, post-it note, is my hidden appearance skins. So on this I'll call it a spreadsheet. On this post-it note, I'm keeping track of all of the hidden skins that I have collected and still need to work on, and where I can pick them up. So if they're darkened in, it means I've already picked it up. If it's not darkened in, it's one that I can work on, so that I can keep track of that. This post-it note has the Concordance, progress on Concordance on various tunes. So the lines with the X's in them are the first Concordance. The ones with the darkened lines on them are the second, third, and fourth Concordances. I also at the end have 2 rows for did I finish the Suramar campaign and did I finish Insurrection. And at the far side, far right, is did I get the toys, the mounts, the pets that come from that class, that spec. Then I've got a new one that I just created that is the Balance of Power. So keeping track of where tunes are on Balance of Power. Did they do the quest before Emerald Nightmare? Did they do Emerald Nightmare? Did they do the stuff between Emerald Nightmare and Nighthold? Did they do Nighthold? And that's what's going on this chart. I also have a chart keeping up with how many timeless badges I have, but I'm almost done with timeless badges, so that is that. If you've got a question you'd like me to answer, please leave it in the comment below, or hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, or all the places that you can keep up with me. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and like and share the video. If you didn't like it at all, go ahead and downvote the crap out of it. That's the way that works. And keep up with me, keep up with me in all the ways. One of those ways, Twitch TV, the Neals, go to stream, throw up a follow, appreciate the follows. At 1,000, we give away more pets and mounts. We're at close to 600. Go to stream, throw up a follow. Also, we're on OpenRaid, openraid.zergid.com. That's where all the achievement runs are held. We're also in a guild. Shatterfate's on Medivh, Shatterfate's on Exodar. Medivh, the Alliance Guild, Exodar, the Horde Guild. Join the guild if you're looking for a guild. Those are connected realms. We're more Alliance than Horde, really, but keep up with us, keep up with us. Also, patreon.com and the Neals, that's where people are helping Neal, help other people learn more achievements, and we appreciate them all. Thanks to the patrons, they make this possible. Regnava, Zuki, and the Random One, Avalatus, Neal, Adafluzzi, Tindermova, Ocean Captain Center, Audra, Bell, Whipan, Lunissa, Carl, Lucky B, Darla, Psycha, Mystery Patron, that could be you. Venla, Nihilus, Kakarot, Acta Sancta, Misery, Cordis, Shigan, Pantheria, Equins, Ucha, Maracha, Petsy, Lean Biff, Coco, Naughty, Dwarfy, Azarea, Nosa, J, Vad, Shimei, Foggle, Delthanor, Tiger Song, Leia, Kluke, Dog, Mystery Patron, that could be you. Hoof, Kamiya, Exa, Finny, and a new patron, Javelina. Mystical, Aramava, Zoo, and Lymphless. They're all helping Neal, help other people learn more achievements. We appreciate them all. Y'all have fun storming the castle today, and remember that fire is still bad this X-Pack. Y'all have a great one.